Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you very much, House Chair. So the leader of the official opposition introduced the topic here about the unemployment crisis. And he did not say anything clearly and cogent about unemployment, what it is, and what solutions must be provided. He just said enough is enough, but he didn't say what exactly must happen here. So you could see the choreography. But also the
Order.
speaker from the ANC says that the ANC will not accept the neoliberal policies of the DA, but the ANC is the most neoliberal political organization in the entire Southern Hemisphere. In terms of how you deal with your policies, it's a fact. Now, we all know that we have got more than 10 million South Africans who are looking for jobs and they cannot find them. But let us give you the national character of such unemployment. Black Africans constitute, like by themselves, we've got 43% unemployment. The population of Indian descent have got 11% unemployment, meaning that out of 10 Indian people, only one is unemployed. And in terms of the white population, the unemployment is 7.4%. And the likelihood is that out of the unemployed white person, they might be coming from a household where someone has got a job. So the crisis of unemployment in South Africa is particularly Africanized. It is affecting the African majority. And this is a result of the fact that whilst we have abolished statutory apartheid, we still have socio-economic apartheid in South Africa. And it is defined exactly in the same way Verwoerd had envisioned. That is what we are dealing with. Now, what is to be done? Let us maybe still first deal quickly with the issues that must not be done. One is that we must not adopt the new liberal pamphlet which was produced by Minister Tito Mboweni last week. It's pure nonsense. It's going to worsen the job crisis. It is not going to even improve economic growth. But two, we must reject the notion that our fellow African brothers and sisters are a cause of the structural unemployment. What is structural unemployment? Is the fact that our economy's architecture is designed in such a way that it is not labor absorptive. So the jobs are created in the services sector, in government and domestic services. But in the critical component, which is the secondary sector, which is supposed to be manufacturing, the production of goods and services, we are found wanting there. Why? Because we have got a poorly conceptualized industrial policy. The essence of South Africa's industrial policy is to say, let us go and get these foreign companies to come and be subsidized heavily here in South Africa. We are not building domestic industries. We've got a decidedly wrong trade policy. It is almost tariff-free to import almost all the daily consumables that we use every day, the daily things that we use every day, including electronics, household electronics, furniture, plastic products, everything else there. If we were producing all of those things ourselves, we're going to provide for jobs. Now, the state has to utilize first its procurement power to drive local industrialization. From as sophisticated things as trucks, trains, cars, the state must build domestic capacity to produce those and first consume them before we throw them into the market for daily users. That is how we should drive industrialization and make sure that everything else that we utilize is domestically produced. The ANC manifesto says that 80% of the goods that the state procures must be produced domestically, but none of you has ever come with a legislative framework that seeks to deal with that question. So you can't deal with unemployment without industrialization. There's no shortcut towards proper development and job creation without industrialization. But also you must create multiple special economic zones. In the process of dealing with the jobs crisis, You must establish special economic zones that are driven by inward industrialization domestically in all parts of South Africa, so that you begin to depopulate Gauteng, the Western Cape, and parts of KwaZulu-Natal. Because the manner in which things are now, more than 90% of money exchanges and movements happens only in 3 areas in South Africa. That is not sustainable. So we need a different architecture of the economy. One thing that you cannot avoid is the fact that we must industrialize. And at the center of industrialization is the return of the land to the ownership of the people as a whole. So when we speak about the land question, it's not only just about agriculture, it's about industrialization as well. Because we must control and own the entire value chain of food production, from the tractors to farming to processing to packaging to exports. We must be in charge of the entire value chain. So we need the land so that we can sustainably create jobs for the people of South Africa. As things stand, there's confusion this side and there's further confusion this side in terms of what happens. That is why we must always give direction as the EFF. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before I call on the Honorable
How do you direct whilst you are lost?
Ngumalo. Thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you. You may be seated. Let's continue. Thank you.